Welcome to the Before the Echo podcast. We're either going to be talking about God or deer hunting. I hope you enjoy it. If you guys are in the market for some new camo, maybe you're worried about just sweating too much in the early season here at the velvet hunt, go over to ASIO gear and get you some of their early season stuff. Right now is a good time to get this stuff ordered. You don't got much time before we start climbing trees and deer hunting, and I absolutely love the ASIO camo pattern for setting up in a tree. And they also make just good quality gear that's going to last with a lifetime warranty if it doesn't. So you don't really have much to worry about. And if you go over to their website and use the code ECHO15 at checkout, you save another 15% off everything on their website. So visit ASIOgear.com, get you some new hunting camo. Man, I have something pretty cool to share with you guys. I'm going on a couple rifle hunts this year, and I just got a new scope that I'm super impressed with, and it's a new scope from Hawke Optics. It's their new Endurance 30 rifle scope lineup, and it's just built for serious hunters that need a good scope that is still an affordable option. It offers like crystal clear glass. I'm real impressed with it. Has a super wide field of view, so target acquisition is really easy, and it just seems real rugged. It has 3 levels of fiber optic illumination, which is motion activated. So you're not running a battery out all the time, but is actually motion activated. Whenever the rifle is moving, it will turn on. When it's laying in your gun safe, it's turned off. This is real durable 30 millimeter tube. It's built for performance whenever you need it to count the most. So if you guys are in the market for a new rifle scope, go over to hawkeoptics.com and use the code BTE, and that'll save you 15% on their website. You can also go to any of their dealers that they have. They're all over the country. It's a good product at an affordable price with a great warranty. hawkeoptics.com. Look, guys, broadheads are important, and I have just fallen in love with these Razor broadheads that I've been using the last few years. If you're a fixed blade kind of guy, I don't think you can go wrong with the Razor head. They just came out with a new 150 grain wide cut double bevel head that's just going to be an awesome shooter. I've been tuning them out here out of my compound bow. Didn't really take much effort to tune them at all. They flew great. That vented head just flies like a dart. So if you guys are in the market for a new broadhead, look into Razor broadheads. They got single bevel heads up to from 125 up to 300 grains, and then they have the new wide cut 150 grain double bevel. Visit razorbroadheads.com, use code BTE, and you save 20% off. All right, one more, guys. Listen, things are shaking right now in the hunting world. Lots of new stuff coming out before season, lots of good stuff, and what do you know, Latitude Outdoors came out with the Method 3 saddle. You know, I didn't really think I would like the thing, to be honest with you. They sent me one, and I'm like, man, you can't beat that Lone Star saddle. I like that thing a lot. It did it, man. It's more comfortable, I think, than the Lone Star if you want a 2-panel saddle. And it's just, it's not like any other 2-panel saddle on the market. It's so easy to use. Sometimes some 2-panel saddles can be a little bit confusing, get all tangled up. Not this thing. It's perfect. So if you guys need a new saddle, I'd go look over there at the new Method. They also have more affordable options for you in the Maverick, and if you're a single panel saddle guy, the Lone Star's unbelievable. It's what I used last year. They also have a new platform coming out, the Profile XL. That thing is in the mail right now as we speak, so I'll let you know if I like that. But if you go to latitudeoutdoors.com and code BTE, it'll save you 15% off of anything on their website that isn't on sale. If you need any more gear, make sure you use these promo codes to save you a little bit of money. All right, everybody. Welcome back to another show. Velvet Hunt update for you. Last night was a good evening. Mm-hmm. We ended up going in. What time did we get? We left here around 3:15, 3:30, I think.
No, it was like 4.
Was it 4?
It was 4, yeah.
And I don't know. We were probably set up and ready to go by 5:20. I feel like I remember.
No, when we got up there, it said 5:45.
Did it?
Yeah, because I was like, what time was it?
Well, I'm like 30 minutes behind. Anyway, we went to the field that we saw those big bucks in.
it's a 3/4 mile long field, and it comes down to like a point in the back.
It's perfect setup.
Yeah,
with that point back there in that corner.
Yep. And we talked to a few people, and like they all kind of agreed, like if they're going to come out in that field, it's probably going to be right there. We kind of snuck down the edge of the bean field coming in from the south, right? Because we had a north wind last night. And we ended up sneaking probably 100 yards from that corner. Wasn't that about right? 120?
Well, 120, yeah.
120 yards from the corner. And started getting set up. We were going to set up in one tree. And it was I don't know. We couldn't get very high at all, no matter where we were going to sit at, because
too much foliage.
There's too much cover up there. Or, and you'd have to have a dang chainsaw and a bunch of time to get yourself some shooting lanes. So we actually, I got up and I got 2 sticks high, and we were just like, man, I don't know if this is going to work right here. For one, it was a tree right on the edge of the field. So if we were really low, we were going to be really exposed. And then I got up there and I had a stick hanging on a limb, like set on top of a limb. Go back a little bit. There was a couple does out in the field whenever we were walking.
Yeah, we
up.
bumped them going in.
Yeah. So,
but it didn't bump them too bad because they came right back.
Yeah, they came back later. But so I had that. But anyways, I had that in my mind. Like, crap, we just bumped them does. They ran in where those bucks went. Or,
Josh should get stressed over this
close.
stuff.
Yeah.
Josh was real worried, and I was like, I think we're fine.
Yeah.
We got plenty of time. We got 2 or 3 hours. I think everything will calm down, and it could be anything that bumps them out of the field.
And then I'm on this. I got this stick, one of my carbon SS sticks, up on this limb, and there's dang greenbrier everywhere. And I like reach over to get something, and I hit a greenbrier like vine. Well, the greenbrier vine was like touching my Latitude stick. I hit that greenbrier vine, and it pulled my Latitude stick down, and it fell on our saw. Made a big clank, and I was like,
It's over with. It's over with. Let's move. Let's go home.
Let's go out to eat or something. So I was all frustrated. Anyways, we did all that, and then I took the sticks down because we changed trees. So we ended up.
I changed trees.
Well, I think it was.
Well,
see, in my mind, I was going to go high in the tree, and we were going to cut some limbs. And
it had an awkward shape to it.
And it had a real weird shape.
And when you're in a saddle and you're trying to hang off the tree, you don't have enough line in it, and if you lean back, it's going to want to throw you around to the lower side. So it would have been really hard to set up on that tree.
That tree was not good for anything.
Not really.
A tree stand wouldn't have been good there.
We should have just chopped it down.
Yeah, it would have been helpful for the tree we set into. But anyway, so we pulled everything back down, and we're trying to do this super quiet, and then we backed up to this really straight. I don't know what kind of tree that was. Was it a red oak or no?
No, it wasn't an oak tree. It was just like it was just a junk tree.
Yeah,
I don't know. It's one of those trees that's not worth valuable for anything other than shade.
Anyways, we got up there. We were only 1 stick high. We were 5 feet off the ground. Like I put my saddle platform up from the ground, but we were in really good cover. Like Patrick was in even better cover than me, to where like he almost couldn't see that great. I think you had a couple holes to see out of the film.
Yeah, I couldn't see them when they came out, but once they got in the field, I could see them and you couldn't.
Yeah.
And then when they kind of got past us, I could see them pretty good.
Dude, that is such a good tool to use for the saddle platform, is setting on that backside of that tree and being able to like hide yourself, and then kind of if you are going to sit really low, pull boogie, and then just kind of creep around the side of the tree to shoot. That's pretty much what we were doing last night.
Yeah, that's why saddles are so good, because you can really hide a lot better. You can use the tree to hide versus a regular tree stand. They both have their pros and cons, but
yeah,
I'll never hunt out anything else.
It was a perfect situation for using it there. So we're sitting up there, I don't know, maybe an hour went by, and then the deer started filing out. Like those does that we spooked out all came back out, and 2 spikes came out with them.
A spike and a half.
Yeah, spike and a half. Had a little half rack on one side. They came out, and they kind of mingled around there for a little bit, and then they ended up going out into the middle of the field kind of somewhere. Not in the middle, but out towards the middle.
We couldn't see them. I think they were kind of in that where that limb fell over not fell, but hung over the field where we couldn't really see past it.
Yeah. Then all of a sudden, the 2 spikes stayed out in the field. The does all ran back in the woods, and there was 4 of them. Ended up being 4 of them coming out. So I think we had like 6 of them. And I told Patrick, I'm like, dang it, now they're gonna come back out right before dark. Them does, and I'm gonna get excited thinking there's those 5 bucks that we saw the night before. It's just gonna be those does. And then surely enough, Patrick was like, we were talking. I was like, man, it's gonna happen. I was kind of getting excited because it's like that 30 minutes before dark. And Patrick was like, I don't.
I was like, my hope is gone. My hope is going with the sun.
I kept telling him, like, dude, that big buck could be walking down this fence row right now. Anyway, they and then here come the doe again coming out back out in the field. But then like smaller buck came out, and it wasn't a spike, but a smaller buck came out. I'm like, oh, here they come. Here all 5 of them come. And got Molly and Boogie gonna go after each other. Anyways, and then you have a big 7-pointer on camera.
Mm-hmm.
He came out, and I thought, okay, here these big ones are gonna come out now.
Yeah, because he was probably with them early. He's been with them all year. Like if I get a picture of him, he's with the big deer, and then another really nice 8-point.
Yeah. So we were sitting there, and they're probably 70 yards from us. They came out 70 yards from us. But the way they went into the woods this morning is they went down the edge of the beans and into the woods. But and then another nice buck came out. Mm-hmm. But neither one of these were the big ones, I don't think. The big ones.
No. It was just that 7, which he's in the video, so you'll see him.
Yeah.
He's a nice deer.
Yeah.
I mean, he was not a shabby deer.
And then they just went out in the middle of the field. They didn't come down.
You want to know what's crazy?
What?
You remember the first place that I wanted to set where you're like, I think we need to get a little closer up, and then you're like, I'm a little more aggressive than you.
Yeah.
He actually was in bow range from that tree.
Really?
When I walked out to the edge of that field.
Really? Because
he followed that little drainage up. Now it's not like I was.
It just was a coincidence.
It's just a coincidence, but it makes you wonder.
Would have he been there in daylight, though, you think?
Yeah, you'd have gotten a shot. I think you'd have shot it because he was just sitting there eating beans.
Oh, okay.
But maybe. It would have been like one of those. Well, it was as soon as we got down, and that was right when you said you couldn't see.
Yeah.
So I popped down, walked out, and he's just standing there eating beans. And he looks like he's been standing there. But, the crazy thing is we were talking, when we talked to Andy May, mm-hmm. he was saying talking about, and you hear a lot about deer getting in the low points of the field for the thermals. I mean, the lowest point of that field is a little wash that's probably about 2 foot lower than every other part of the field that kind of runs right through the middle of it and zigzags. And then it actually comes over the tree line right there. And that's what he followed. All the deer followed that when they came out. Every one of them came out, and they kind of followed that lower area. And then he just kept going until he got close to the tree. So it makes me wonder, like, is there something to that?
Oh, I'm sure there is. I think anytime you have a low drainage going in the field, because there's undulations all over field,
mm-hmm.
whether they're slight or very pronounced. But like, if you got like irrigation tire tracks or sprayer tire tracks, and then those little low areas, they'll just follow them.
It's weird how they follow those edges like that.
I think they just feel. Well, the tire tracks make complete sense, though.
Yeah, because it gets the beans out of them. They don't have to walk through beans. They can just follow those tire tracks.
That's how we would walk through beans.
Exactly, yeah. And they kind of follow what you would follow.
Yeah.
Pretty much, except that when they use the thermals, they're going to do whatever it takes to keep in that thermal area, Yeah.
Thermals, I don't think we had a really nice wind most of the night. Maybe 30 minutes before dark, it calmed down a lot, but I don't think thermals were ever going to be a problem for us last night. I don't think there was enough of the low... I don't know. We were probably far enough off that edge or off that real low area for it to go down in there. But then none of the deer spooked sending us at all. It was all perfect all night long.
No, we really did good. Our wind was perfect. It was blowing from the field into the woods.
Yeah,
it was perfect for us. Not good for the bigger bucks.
Yeah,
and that might be why we didn't see them, because the wind had changed. The morning it was out of the northeast, where it was advantageous for them because it was kind of blowing from the woods, kind of at a crosswind to their nose.
Them big bucks may have circled around and came out.
They could have
down somewhere.
They could have gone up and around and gotten our wind, and we just didn't know it.
Yeah,
And
then because those 2 bucks we saw last night, I don't think they were mature. Like I don't think they were like 4 or 5 year olds.
No, he was 3. I think he's a 3-year-old 7-point, just based on the pictures I've got of him and everything and stuff like that. I mean, he would have been a nice deer for the velvet hunt.
I would have loved to kill him.
A travel deer. I mean, he's If he was an 8-point, he'd probably be around that 120s mark.
Yeah.
As an 8, but as a 7, But big 7s are kind of cool too.
Yeah, I would love to shot him. Boogie's out there playing with toys now.
Oh, that's so funny. God, that dog's smart.
Yeah. Anyway, so we climbed down out of there, and we put our headlamp on.
Yeah.
And you're a big fan of using white lights just to throw them off.
I know Eberhard does not like them, but my experience with headlights is the white lights. Now, maybe if they see them from the side, it brings attention to you. But if you're walking directly towards where deer are, that it blinds them. You got to think their eyes have a certain vision for night to where they gather so much light to be able to see nocturnally that it just kind of blinds them, and they get curious, what is that? And man, I've walked right up within 10, 15 yards of deer before they spooked, and they're only spooking because they hear me and they don't know the noise, I would assume, but then they'll only run 15 or 20 yards, then they'll stop and look back at you.
Yeah.
So I like using a white light on my headlamp.
Yeah, I've always used a white light too.
Because they're going to see you if they see you, because they got good vision and it's nocturnal. So if you're walking through the woods and you have no lights on, they're still going to see you. So what's wrong with wearing a white headlamp to where they're not going to see you? They're not going to notice the white headlamp any more than they're going to notice you, because they're going to hear you walking if they're in range, and they're going to see the movement as you're coming through. Now, maybe a deer at a really far distance might see you where he wouldn't have, but
right. Yeah, and also you probably make less noise using a white light. You're not stepping on. You're more conscious.
Yeah, you can see a lot better. I've always used a white light on my head. I figured that out when I hunted rural deer in Memphis. I mean, I literally could almost walk up and touch the deer in Memphis because they're not as spooky. But I could just walk in there and the deer would just look at you, and I'd walk all the way past them and climb up in my stand with my headlamp on, and I could look down and I'd see their eyes shining at me. They never moved,
Yep. Well, this is kind of changing the subject a little bit, but Billy, I thought it was interesting him talking. You have to get more information about this, but he had a place in town there where he quit hunting it because he ended up getting to where he could feed the deer out of his hand.
Yeah, that's weird.
Yeah, I wouldn't think they'd be that. That deer must have been just
somebody must have raised that deer.
I bet so, or something,
or it had been coming in their backyard since a baby, and they've been feeding it, because that's the thing about rural deer. I've never experienced that, but I do know that they're not as depending on where they are. Human scent doesn't bother them as much. They're a little easier to kill.
I bet he was in someone's backyard for his first couple years of
his
life.
I bet so, and I bet you they got to where they could feed him, or they throw feed out and they walk up to him, and he just got used to it. There's deer over in this place close to me that's in a neighborhood, and there's a man, and he feeds them every day, and they come. There's 60. He'll have 60 deer in his yard, and I mean it's a big neighborhood. The houses are on maybe an acre lots, and it's a whole. I mean, there's house.
Yeah.
And these deer live in the woods in between them because there's lots of woods. And those deer just go right up there, and he can sit out there and throw corn, and they're waiting on him. Some of them he feeds out of his hand.
Yeah, I can see that for sure. Mm-hmm. I know, I have a buddy, his dad, he's gotten where he feeds fox.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
But they're a lot more like dogs. Mm-hmm. But he had a little fox that he would down at his land. It wasn't at his house, but he'd drive down into his land, and it would wait on him. If he went there in the evenings, it would be around waiting on him to pull up so he could get fed. Well, he's really come into it.
He is, man. He's playing with my big female dog.
And that was it. We just ended up walking out of the. There were some does must have came out while we were getting down, because they kind of spooked off.
Yeah.
They blew at us when we went out to the edge of the field.
Yeah. And I watched them when we were walking out on my binoculars after dark, and they just watched us too.
Yeah.
They weren't really
They didn't run away.
No, they were just on the other side of the field, maybe 80 yards, and they just sat there and watched us as we walked out of the field.
Yeah.
And you can, if you've never tried it or not, you can see really good in the dark with your binoculars. They pull in enough light where you can. A lot of people don't do that, but if you get out and you're worried that there's deer in your field, but you're not sure and you want to just kind of ease out to the edge to see, grab those binoculars in the dark and look, because you can see, you can see a couple hundred yards, and you can make out you can make out deer really, really good.
Well, those a lot of guys are hauling around those little handheld thermals now. She got him. You got him. Those little handheld thermals.
Yeah.
That you can scan fields
Yeah.
before you leave and whatnot.
Oh, yeah. That's what, Chad was using that in his video on 3
for
of
squirrel
7.
hunting.
For squirrel hunting to find the squirrels in the tree.
Yeah.
Never thought about that. I wonder what those cost.
They're anywhere from $500 to $500 to $5,000.
I'm just going to buy a drone and have it sitting in the field and wait before I leave.
Well, we thought about having someone like John going and sitting on the edge of the field and just watching because we couldn't see great. There's a squirrel over there.
Yeah, we couldn't see anything.
Remy and Molly are going to be the star of the show for a little bit here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we couldn't see much. I had a good gap where I could see where they were coming out at, so that was kind of nice, actually. We really did. But it'd been nice to be able to see more of the field because we could just see a very, very small amount of it. It was a giant field. I always wonder, too, like, did those bucks, like, follow the creek for a little bit and then come out? Because I saw some deer, because I watched that field a few weeks ago when we were down here, and there was a lot of deer that came out, like, up farther from us there.
Yeah, I think so. I think they go on both sides.
Yeah. And
like last night, it was almost. I was sitting there thinking, watching those deer. I was like, if I was a buck with the wind direction being what it is, I think this and
Boogie, get down.
I think this is true. That when a buck comes out, he wants to smell the woods that he's just left.
Yeah.
And see what he can see that's open. So last night it would have made more sense for him to come out on the other side.
Right.
And walk out on that side than our side because they can smell the woods. That you've got a good background, you got that deep ditch, and you got a thin strip of wood, so he could smell everything over there, and he's safer.
Yeah.
Versus coming out on our side where he doesn't know what's in the woods on that side.
Yeah.
So it really wasn't. There was no advantage to him coming out like he went in yesterday, but there was an advantage to him how they went in.
Yes.
They're just so freaking smart, man.
They're dead in the wind coming in. There's no hole in the fences over there, is there?
There's some small spots, but
he's coming back. Yeah. Man, couldn't have asked for a better weekend though.
Oh, it's great right now. It's going to be in the 50s
tonight.
Tomorrow night.
Tomorrow night.
Yeah, down here, and tonight it's gonna drop off cool. Might actually go hunt tonight. My wife's coming back in, but she's headed home now. She said, I'm going to stay. She told me, she says, I think I'm going to just try to spend some time down there instead of just leaving first thing in the morning like I like to do. Like, Brandy is out. Like, when she's ready to go home, she's done. She gets up at 6 o'clock.
She's already on her way.
And so I'm sitting here thinking, okay, sure. I knew she wouldn't. But I was like, maybe she'll get, because it's an 8-hour drive. No, she's on her way. So she'll probably be home about 2 o'clock this afternoon. So maybe I can spend some time with her and then go, hey, why don't we go sit in the woods?
Yeah, she'll go with you, film you. It's nice, nice sitting there.
Those bugs will wear her out, man. She does not
really?
like bugs.
Bring a thermocell.
Yeah, I could do that. I bet she'd be real excited about doing that. Yeah, she'd be real excited. Get her to sit. She'd sit up there in the side by side and watch the field for me. Maybe she'd be bored with that too.
Yeah.
I almost thought about. I think we ought to, after we do this podcast, maybe run over there and just watch that field for a minute. Just drive over there and pull in the back and just see if they do the same thing.
Yeah.
At least that'd give me should I? It'll kind of help me make up my mind whether I want to go hunt tonight.
Yeah.
I don't ever hunt this velvet hunt. I've never hunted it. I've hunted it one day, and I've never really hunted it. So the best time to kill a mature deer. I mean, there are some guys on here on Tennessee Deer Hunters killing some really nice deer.
Yeah.
And this many 5-year-old plus deer that are getting killed in one weekend, and that's just Tennessee Deer Hunters, like what we see.
Yeah.
That's not really there's probably 10 times more than that being killed. And, it just shows you what a great time it is if you got a place that has deer. Like at John's, man, if I could get it planted, if I could get him to plant it, if we could plant that bottom field in beans, man, like or just do some bean plots around there and that's my plan. That was my plan this year for our velvet hunt.
Yeah.
Is I was going to go to John's and I was going to plant soybeans in some strategic areas.
Yeah.
Because we bought the beans, but it just kept getting later and later, and I don't have the equipment, and I didn't feel like paying anybody to go plant my beans. So it just never got done,
Well, if we could ever get a date like down on the calendar, I'd come down and help you guys. Like I know it's hard to get.
I need the equipment is the thing.
Yeah,
I don't have equipment, and you can't always count on John because he's got to go. He's always working. He works over on that farm in Arkansas.
That's what I meant. That's what I meant. If we could like nail down a way to, get him, settled down a little bit.
No, it ain't gonna happen. Every time you're in town, he goes, "All right, I'm gonna come and make sure I see him." And he's got 9 million things going on. He can't.
That's
he
what
wants
I thought
to.
he was going to meet up with us yesterday, and then he never mentioned it yesterday again. But he had something going on. It sounded like.
Now I will say this: if we could get him this morning, if we get your truck loaded and everything or whatever, we ought to go fish that lake for like an hour. Like it's a great.
In Arkansas?
No, right down the road.
Oh.
Here with him, but he has to be there. But look, that's too funny.
Yeah, they're having fun now.
Remy's got somebody to play with that's not going to beat him up.
Right, little puppy playing.
And he's the strongest dog here. He's the biggest, strongest, most athletic dog. And
he's like, "Oh man, come on, man." So that's Velvet Hunt. We decided not to go today. We were just chilling.
Yeah, we were pretty tired, and then it's like what we talked about on the podcast yesterday. You just get to an age where you just the spending the time together, hanging out, and fellowshipping is
that's what it's about.
Is more fun than the is actually going out there and trying to kill all the time. You're like, well, we could sit outside, probably have just as great a time talking about it and talking about some other stuff.
Well, we didn't feel like we had a great plan for this morning either. Like, because the wind was horrible for sitting there in the morning. Really, I mean, pretty bad. Like,
I think it's still the same. I think it'd be okay, maybe.
Yeah,
but I don't know. You got to think, man, these bucks are still not stupid.
No.
And they're going to do things a certain way, and you've really got to either catch them just on the edge of the wind or off guard. You really, if hunting the wind is the big thing, and having them where they're at a disadvantage in the wind is hard to do.
Yeah, I agree. It's tough in the morning. I mean, you can do it for sure, but like, we don't have stands or anything set up. So, we have. I guess there was that one ladder stand that was kind of.
And I mean that was not, I mean you could probably kill a deer out of that.
Yeah, definitely. Well, deer right now, I don't think you're gonna kill one deer in season out of it.
Yeah, not with a bow. I don't think. Hey, hell, you might. It was pretty tucked back in there.
Yeah,
you could probably kill a deer.
Yeah,
probably not a mature deer or a decent aged buck, but like even if you go down, like there's spots that I think we could have probably given a try, but. We did drive through the middle of the farm last night and blow it up pretty big, and they probably calmed back down and didn't know what was going on. Deer, there's certain things you can get away with, riding a side-by-side that's not super loud through a field on the edges or whatever.
Yeah.
And it's probably not going to hurt anything at night.
It's kind of tough. I mean, you kind of have like on this velvet hunt, you kind of have one shot to make it right because it's hard to get out of there. I mean, generally speaking, it's pretty hard to get out of them without busting them out of there, and then your scent's on the ground and everything else, That setup we had last night was pretty nice because we could have, if there was a big giant buck out there, we could have backed out into the woods and got out of there.
Well, the difference in our velvet hunt and like the hunting them the first week of Kentucky season is you can bait in Kentucky.
Yeah.
So you've got these deer on a routine coming to your bait all the time. So if you have a big block of timber with no agriculture, they're going to come to your bait. If you put your bait on the edge of agriculture, they're going to kind of come to that bait. And if you just set up downwind of the bait, and these deer are coming in, and they do get confident, like they do get overconfident this time of year, where they let their guard down a good bit, and then they're coming to that bait. You kind of know where they are. Here, and it's way easier you can find a buck way easier right now because you're hunting them over agriculture.
Yeah.
Beans, if you got good beans, they're coming to those beans, but. The downside is you got to hunt them, like real hunt them. You can't put bait out. You're not going to know where they're going to. You don't have a spot where you go, I know they're coming right here.
Yeah.
And so, like last night, we didn't have that. So it makes it a little bit of a challenge. But man, these guys are knocking down some really good deer.
Yeah.
We got to get our game together for next year.
Yeah.
What we got to do is we got to go out to John's and we got to plant some soybeans, some late soybeans. We need to plant them in like
a month ago.
Like July 1st.
Yeah.
I'd say, like, if we plant some soybeans at John's July 1st, and we go out there and we do, like, some 2-acre plots that you can shoot both sides of, that's what we need to do.
Well, dude, I have a sprayer and a roller.
The sprayer, we need a sprayer.
A 4-wheeler sprayer.
And you're going to have a 4-wheeler.
Yeah. Buying Patrick's 4-wheeler.
Yeah, I got a 4-wheeler.
A fixer-upper 4-wheeler.
Yeah. You'll see. There'll be videos on fixer-upper in it. It's been sitting in my garage for 2 years. And
dude, it started right up, though.
Yes, it's got the pull crank on it, which is awesome. Yeah. I think that's really an undervalued thing.
Yeah. But it needs some TLC on it.
Yeah, it needs a little love.
Some shocks.
Needs shocks, brakes.
Something wrong with the transmission.
Oil change and some transmission stuff done to it. It's got the electric transmission.
Yeah.
It could be, somebody told me it could just be a fuse or something. And man, you'd really get a deal with that.
Yeah. The problem is the hours you'd spend trying to figure out you know what I mean? That's the words, the value of.
But it would, I mean, that'd be useful around your house too, because you could spray some 2,4-D and stuff and get your yard. You wouldn't have to pay anybody to spray it anymore.
Yeah.
You want to get all the Roundup out of it, though.
Yeah. Yep. My uncle's coming to spray my yard. My uncle has one of them. He has his license to commercially spray.
Mm-hmm.
He hates it. He goes, I'm not doing it anymore. He's like, I'll keep my license, but he doesn't like spraying people's yards.
Keeps you in good shape because you have to walk them.
Yeah. Well, I think he. I don't know why he doesn't.
But you are around the chemicals all the time. I don't know what those chemicals are going to do to you.
He didn't seem worried about that. He just, I don't know. Maybe the shake ain't worth the money that he gets out of it or something. But
probably up there.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem like a lot of people, from what I could see, really care.
Yeah.
Like about the little weeds in their yard.
Yeah.
Like down here, these folks make some These folks make some money down here spraying their yards.
Oh, I bet.
You know.
Well, yeah, I think he just, he lives out in the country. I think he cuts like some country folks' yards and stuff that don't. Cut a yard.
Like this yard here, I've got 2 acres, and they do about 1.5 of it. No, they do more than that. Probably 1.75 of it. It's close in there, and it's like $215 every treatment.
Yeah.
And that's times 7.
Yeah.
So they're making over $1,500 a year spraying.
He told me he's going to come spray. He said chemicals and fertilizer. He said you probably have $50 in it.
Yeah. You can go to TSC and get the 2,4-D and all the stuff if you learn what to spray when. And you can spray Roundup on it in the spring. You could round up your whole yard.
And it'll come back up.
Oh, no, it won't even die. It won't kill it because Roundup doesn't work on the dormant foliage.
Oh, yeah.
So if you spray all your weeds, if you spray your yard with Roundup in February or March when the weeds start or whenever up there, it's probably a little later to you.
Later, for sure.
When your weeds start getting green, but your grass, your grass is still dormant. See, we have Bermuda, so our Bermuda grass stays dormant for a long time. So
I feel like weeds are getting immune to Roundup a little bit.
Probably everything, man.
Because, I mean, I spray my weeds around my house, like in my driveways and stuff, and it just seems like this year it's just been I can't control them. Like it just seems like. Well, I mean, it kills them, but they come right back.
Well, I have this lady, and I sprayed her yard, her flower beds.
Yeah.
And then we weeded it, and literally the next week it looked like we had done nothing because the seeds are in the ground.
Yeah.
And that little nut grass that comes up, I'll probably have to spray the heck out of her weeds this week when I go over her house.
Yeah.
But
I like keeping a good yard. I like my yard looking nice. It does not look nice right now. I sprayed my yard with 2,4-D this year in the spring, and it just didn't. I don't know. I got so much clover right now, but it was so wet and hot. I think the clover just thrived this year.
Yeah, the wet is a big thing, especially with this. We got this nut grass, which is little skinny blades of green grass that come up.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
And they're easy to pull out, but it just comes right up. And that stuff was crazy, and it thrives in wet conditions. Yeah. So it was bad this year with the wet, and then a lot, like I was telling Josh too, and I don't know if y'all are noticing around where y'all hunt, but a lot of the fields just didn't get planted this year.
Yeah.
And in Arkansas, John said there's so many fields over there that didn't get planted in Arkansas. He said it's terrible. He says probably 60% of the farmers over there didn't even have a crop this year.
Jeez, really?
Where he's at, where he drives around at all the time, he said that there's like 60% of them don't have a crop. So, like, that's bad. That's bad for the deer. The duck hunter's going to have a hard time with it.
Yeah.
It's just,
Yeah.
A lot of beans went in late, too. Because there's some bean fields that I've seen that just got planted like a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
I don't know if they're even going to get any beans out of them.
Yeah, that's weird.
But we should do that. We should do John's. I need to quit trying to get all these little in-town places that end up being a hassle and frustration and just focus on making John's farm the best it can be because it's a dang good farm.
Yeah.
I mean, there was like 7 or 8 shooters on that farm last year, and he cares about it, but he doesn't have time to do anything with it. So if I do stuff over there, then it helps him and I just need a tractor. Like if I could go buy me a tractor, like a big enough tractor to do that with, man, I'd do that in a heartbeat.
Expensive.
Yeah, you can rent them.
Yeah, that's what we should do is rent them. And do
I can rent. Let's see, we rented that one. Thomas works up here at Tennessee Tractor, and we rented one last year for like a month. All I had to do is put it on my insurance.
Yeah.
We didn't pay anything because he works there.
Yeah.
So we used that tractor for like a month at that farm.
Yeah.
But you got to have the implements, and the thing is, John's got an old broke down bush hog. It's huge. Batwing, bush hog. But you got to pack grease in it and everything. We did some work on it, fixed the wheels and stuff last year, so it should be in good shape if you can find it in the field. I saw like a piece of the tire sticking out because it's so overgrown with weeds.
Oh, no.
And I think Kudzu's taking it over, so probably have to spray it and then go back and hook it up to the bush hog, and then you're
good.
Get
it pulled out of there.
And his disc is there too, so we could probably...
We're close right there.
Yeah.
You can roll beans in, and they'll take. Ouch. That's how I used to do it. But
yeah. Oh, because they don't have to be perfect. Deer don't care.
I don't care.
They don't have to be in rows. But John bought a planter.
I know.
He's got a 4-row planter.
Yeah.
So I mean, we could probably plant.
You just have to spend a month fixing everything up, probably.
Yeah. I just need to rent a tractor and go out there. But heck, what I need to do is find out what somebody would charge me to do it, because it might, for the hassle, for the time, it might be cheaper to just pay somebody. Not cheaper, but make more sense.
Yeah.
If somebody's like, I can plant 2 acres for $500-$600, $700.
Yeah.
I'll just do that because it saves me time, gas, money. Because what would they have in it, you think, to plant 2 acres? So they probably have 2 bags of Roundup Ready beans, which I can get those for like $20. Like John gets stuff somehow really cheap on the beans because they're usually expensive. So I could get Roundup Ready beans or corn, and I can get for like $20, and then they're going to have in their diesel, probably do that, maybe a tank of diesel. It's not even, probably wouldn't even be a tank to do all that. And then it's probably going to take them to bush hog all 2 acres. It'd probably take them an hour or two, probably an hour. And then if they have a big enough bush hog, and then to plant, then if they dist, probably couple of hours to disc 2 acres, I would think.
Yeah, I don't know what.
Maybe 2-3 hours. I don't know what it would go for, but I need to ask somebody what they would charge me.
Yeah.
And then I could go out there and spray it after they bush hog it, and then set it on fire.
Yeah.
Because John likes to burn stuff, he believes, because it puts the potash back in the soil.
Yeah. And
then they come in and disc it, and then they smooth it over and they plant their beans. I thought about doing that this year, but I didn't really have the money. We bought that camper, and I've been trying to fix it up and save money for it.
It's not a big deal either way.
I think next year I will do it. I'm gonna probably get.
Well, next year you just bait.
Yeah, that's true. It's the same thing.
I know. That's what I'm saying.
It's a cheaper way to do it. It's really the same thing. Like food plots, you did a little effort in it.
Yeah, but it's more fun.
It's more fun, and you feel better about it. But you're still setting the table for the deer to come eat at. Yeah. The bait, I'll use a spreader instead of putting it in a pile, so I don't know exactly where they're going to come out of the woods. But man, that top field up there, like how we went to the top of that clay hill before we went to where we hunted. Well, you know how you drive, but when you're going back there to where you killed your deer at, you drive and it kind of you get that little field there, and then it gaps down, and then you go through, and there's all those trees that are rubbed, and then it blows up in that other field.
Yeah.
Right there, a tree fell over, so the deer have to come around that tree. Dynamite spot to kill a buck. I'm telling you, I'm going to plant that. I'm going to get that planted, at least that one spot planted.
Yeah.
To where I can, put a bow set there and get one.
Yeah, man.
Get my deer.
I had a good time this weekend, though.
Oh, I had fun too.
It was so nice.
What a beautiful.
This was by far the nicest weekend we've had so far out of the 3.
The first weekend we were in Satan's crotch. The first weekend,
it was horrible.
It was so hot.
It was probably 25 degrees hotter.
Oh, it was like
106 or something.
106 was the heat index.
Yeah.
And we were sweating so bad.
And today it was in the 80s this week here.
Yeah, it was in the 80s, and by the time we were getting out of this, and we had a nice cool north wind last night. Nice. We got a good breeze this morning.
Y'all getting cooler too. I got a notice that it's going to cool down.
Yep, it's going to be 87 today, and then tomorrow, and then it's going to drop down even lower tomorrow, and the low is going to be in the 50s. So it's 59, which is nuts for the third week of August.
Yeah, boy, if that would have hit this week, dang.
But it's about over with. Like, summer's about over with.
Yeah.
My yard cutting's about over with,
Yeah.
which I'm stoked about not having to cut grass. I mean, just it's getting that time.
Yeah.
2 hours later.
All right. New development. This is like 2 hours later.
Yep.
We ended up buzzing over to that property.
We're going to Bible study, and then Jesus said, "Thou shalt go look at deer for an hour."
Or Patrick's ADHD.
And my ADHD went, "Hey, you want to go over there and go look at those deer real quick?" So
see if they're there. They were.
So we drove over there, and they came out right when we got there at about 9, probably 9:30, 9:35, just like yesterday. It's almost like they're on a clock.
Yeah, and then Patrick might go back out there tonight and.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Like we talked about yesterday on the podcast,
Yeah.
we're getting old, and we just don't have that. I don't know if I want to mess with the velvet deer.
The bad part, especially being Monday tomorrow morning.
Well, it's not Monday for me.
Oh, you don't work this Tuesday.
I have to cut grass, but that's it.
Yeah.
But yeah, so go ahead and tell the story about what happened.
Well, that's pretty much it. We watched them, and they kind of they came out, and they were walking down the edge from left to right, which is all you guys need to know.
Victor.
And they, I told Patrick that they got to about where we were at. I'm like, man, that one buck is like sniffing hard. Like he was sniffing the air, just acting weird to me. And then maybe like a couple minutes later, they all three just kind of turned around and ran back to the corner where they went in at.
Mm-hmm.
And I think they 100% got our ground scent and the stuff we were tinkering with over there, you know?
And you know what? I'm sitting here thinking about this because I think we would have done better to watch those deer last night and to go in there at the same time as we did yesterday morning.
Yeah, probably.
And cut all that stuff out and been ready to go.
Yeah.
And just because it showed they're on such a pattern that they literally came out at the same time, same place,
right,
and did this. And actually, we would have got a shot at them this morning, 100%.
As long as the wind cooperated, yeah.
Yeah.
Which is with anything, but
yeah, but I think we would have been all right. I mean, even with an east wind, northeast wind, it would have blown it kind of. You know, our lane was here, and the wind would have been blowing that way.
Well, dude, and plus, like, we get like thumped into our heads. We get thumped into our head so heavily about like not hunting early mornings in early season too. You know.
I think we should have done it, especially with this cool down. I think we should have gone over there, and we could have gone back over there. We could have left our stuff and gone back over because I mentioned that, and then we kind of because again, age and getting a little lazy.
Yeah.
We didn't want to have to go back in there and get it, or if we changed our mind and wanted to go in there and hunt a different spot, we didn't want to have to deal with it. But I think after seeing it, if someone asked me, what would you have done? I'd have said,
you're right, you probably should have done it.
If the deer did that morning, I would wait till the next morning and go and be there that morning to do it. I think that's your
Victor.
No. Highest percentage chance.
You live and you learn.
Of doing it.
You live and you learn. Yeah, I think this early season, like early, when I say early season, I mean August, is like looking for patterns and then playing on those patterns, you know.
Yeah, and if I had it next year, if I still can hunt there, I'm going to go and watch those deer from that house every day.
Yeah.
Because if those deer are still alive and they do beans again next year, which they might do corn because I think they rotate it.
Yeah,
if they do beans again next year, I'll watch that field and see what they do.
Yeah. No. It's so hard to do. Dude, it's like they can do anything too, you know. But they did that two times in a row this week.
Mm-hmm.
They were morning to morning. Kind of, but not really. They were coming from a different direction last night or yesterday morning.
Mm-hmm.
So that's one reason we were worried about it going in the morning is because they were going to come down that, you know, they were going to come down. They came from the south with a north wind.
Yep.
You know, we were kind of worried about that too a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
But they didn't. This morning they came out from the north and went south, which was like, what are they doing, you know?
Yeah, they did something totally different, but it's almost like...
But they were in the same area.
Yeah, and I don't know if that 7-point was even with him yesterday. He might not have been with him.
It was so far away, it's hard to really tell know exactly which ones they were.
Yeah, but like, they came out in a different-ish spot, but it was only, it's only 40 yards.
Yeah, the same area, same spot of the field.
They just came out on the left side instead of the right side of the corner, and then they funneled and did the same thing. And I'm telling you, had we just watched them and not put any scent in there and then gone in there fresh this morning and just counted on them doing the same thing this morning as they did yesterday morning, instead of trying to go in there after them in the afternoon. Pay attention to the pattern exactly the way that you saw them the first time. You know, don't try to, this time of year, don't try to think, okay, they're going to come back in there at night. Because they might do something totally different at night.
Yeah.
But in the morning, we know they did that, so go with the highest probability.
Yeah. Another bad part about morning is just like getting set up. But like they were moving late though. This was late.
Yeah, they moved till about 9 o'clock.
Yeah,
a little bit after 9.
So you could have just went in a gray light and got find a good spot, but
yeah.
But then you did that and they'd moved you just spooked them off the dang field or something because you're it's just, man, you can just tangle your brain up in this stuff, can't you?
Yeah, and they smelled all the scent on everything we cut down.
Yeah,
is what it was.
Yeah,
but that we learned something. I did definitely learn something. If something like that happens again, I would say go with the pattern.
Yeah.
Instead of overthinking they're going to do something different at night.
Yeah.
Because it ain't never that easy.
Right.
Thanks for listening to tonight's show. We're going to come back to you tomorrow night and do a Bible study on 1 Corinthians. Look forward to seeing y'all there tomorrow night.